Hello beautiful warriors, I'm Kuchira and this is the Yogance Interweaving. I love playing with weaving in and out of my movements, working on right and left and up and down and this way and that way. Maybe it's because it's something that I'm constantly having to practice because I am dyslexic, but I also find that a lot of other people have issues when it comes to right and left in their bodies and within movement. So I like to keep that a very active part of my practice, which I'm sharing with you today through this Yogance interweaving. What I love about this Yogance is it doesn't actually have a front of the mat. It moves around and uses the entire space. It allows the body to expand and think outside of your little yoga mat. It's a little dance, it's a little yoga, and it's a whole lot of good movement. Before we get started, always remember that this is your practice. And what I mean by that is that it should look and feel like yours. So although I am here, relaying information to you, always keep it in awareness in your own body. If something doesn't feel quite right or needs to be adjusted or modified, please do so. Stay creative. That creative intelligence is such a huge tool. It's part of the practice. So any little things that you can tweak or change to make it more comfortable or more exciting for you, go ahead. Yogance has no specific rules. Let it be yours. Also, remember that Yogance moves like a dance, therefore it's not from one posture to the other. There's all these transitional little movements and breaths that can happen. So keep the Yogance alive with a beautiful fluid breath and any little movements that your body needs in between. I think that's all that needs to be said, so let's get moving. As always, the way that I do this is I teach little portions of the Yogance and then we add on. So I'll teach section number 1, we'll practice it a bit with me and then without me to put it in the body memory. I'll teach section number 2, we'll do the same, then we'll come back, put 1 and 2 together and keep going, so on and so forth until we have the entire interweaving Yogance built. We are also going to be doing this on both sides. It will get a little bit confusing because, like I said, we are interweaving in and out. So if it doesn't look exactly like mine or if you get confused which way, it really doesn't matter. Remember that we're just playing and exploring our bodies. So let's get started. We're going to start on the right side, which just means the right leg is going to start the movement. And I'm going to show it to you in this direction first. But in all actuality, I'm going to be facing this way because of the way that the Yogance moves around. This is a good tip. If you have a small space, you can still make this happen actually. My space is actually quite small, though it looks big in there. The idea is to make it work for you. So you might have to take a little extra steps or move back or cut under. All of these things are a part of this Yogance. They're things that I want you to play with because it's really all about spatial and body awareness, which are two great things to have in your toolbox. So the right leg is going to cross over the left. As such, you're going to step onto the right leg. The left leg is going to release as you balance on the right leg. Here you can feel free to play a bit. Remember that I always want you to play in between the movement, however it shows up. And then you're going to step out onto the left leg, nice and wide, bending into the left leg, keeping the heart up and taking a little lunge. Rising up. As you rise up, really press into the left foot, squeeze the pubis. Try not to make all of this kind of movement happen. If you need to use your hands, go ahead. I'd rather you use support and simplify the movement, even though it's not, than to try and push through somewhere that's uncomfortable and actually not get the benefits of it. So again, crossing the right over the left, lifting up through the pubis, rising taller as you transfer the weight. You always want to have this very active action happening, oppositional forces. So I'm rooted through my foot, but I'm also lifting up through my spine. I can play a little bit if I want to find that moment of balance. I step out nice and wide onto my left foot. Feel that a bit. If I want to use my hands to help me down, that's fine, but also keep engagement in the pubis. Maybe take a breath here, take some stretching, especially if you're just starting out. And then press into the left foot as you rise up, thinking like someone's pulling you up from the crown of your head. So one more time, let's do that, and then we'll continue on. Let's do it on the left side just to get the different feel. So my left foot is going to cross over my right. I'm going to step onto it. I'm going to step onto my right foot, nice and wide, wider than I think. Lunge into it. Good. Then rise back up. Let's continue on. From there, that bent leg, the one you just dipped into, is going to push up. You're going to try to find your balance once again by squeezing through your pubis. You're going to cross that free leg over, which we're on our left side, so now it's my right leg is crossing over. And I'm going to step back with the opposite leg. Here I find my right lunge, high lunge. Squeeze and taking a moment. Good, I want to do that just one more time in this direction so we all understand what's going on. Let's do the right side again. That means that the right leg begins with the cross. I step on it. I step out wider than I think onto my left. I push right back up, squeezing everything, using, engaging, finding the balance point back onto my right. This is going to be tricky because you're wide, right? Which means immediately you have to squeeze the pubis upwards, tuck the tailbone just a little bit, and take your breath. Finding the balance, crossing the left leg over the right, stepping onto it. Again, if you notice, there's a lot of transitional balances that I want you to play with. Stepping that right leg back, finding that left lunge, bringing that opposite hip back to the back leg so that that right hip flexor is nice and open. If you need to put your hands down, by all means, go ahead. If you even need to bring that back knee down, go ahead. This is your practice. Good. From there, we're all actually going to bring our hands down and we're going to find a side plank. So go ahead and place the right hand down. We're on the right side. I'm going to take my weight onto my right hand, releasing my left foot, coming out to my outer edge of my back leg, as you know, it's just going to dip down. And I'm going to press out of my right shoulder girdle as that front leg scoops back and stacks. Lifting up my hand, and if I want to make it a little harder, I change my focus upwards. If this is too much, go ahead and leave that foot right there. But everything is active through the shoulder. Beautiful. Come on up. Let's try the left side just up till there, shall we? So left side, which means again, the left leg crosses first, crossing the left, stepping out onto the right. Good, pushing back up. Finding the balance in between, crossing the right over left, shooting that left leg back, right high lunge, really dipping into it, bringing the right hip back. Beautiful, you guys. Placing the hands down, we're going to find the left side plank. So right now here, for example, I'm off my mat, so I'm readjusting a little bit. I'm coming forward. Good, I'm placing my weight onto my left hand, bringing my right hip back, squeezing my pubis, pushing out of this left shoulder, stacking my feet, and then looking upwards. Good. Let's come out of it and come up. So that's going to be our first section. I would like to show this for those that find this to be too challenging. We can actually make this a little bit easier. So simple enough. Let's do the right side. Just cross on the right. Just maybe instead of going all the way down, just dip a little bit in it. I play with finding my balance in between. Cross again, step back. Maybe settle your knee down a touch. Maybe you could find a little twist here. Good. I send my right hand down. I leave my left foot where it is. I come onto the outer edge of my back foot. And then I just look up to find the side plank version. Nice and supported. And then we come back as we rise up. Good. One more thing I want you to see is how you kind of dance this little first section. So let me show it to you in this direction. So it would be a little bit breathier, a little smoother. I can use my arms. I can play a little bit more. Play is always welcomed. You guys know that. And I just add little things, little touches of love. As I rise up. Beautiful. Go ahead and pause the video. Try your version of this. Get it really in the body, and then we'll come back and continue. So we got that first bit down. This is where it starts to get a little bit more complicated. So really pay attention to the right and lefts. Let's start just from the very beginning and then build from there. We're going to start on the right side. So just take an inhale. Take an exhale. Beautiful. You're going to cross the right leg over the left. You know this now. You're going to step out and take that wide side lunge. Push it back up. Find the balance right onto the right leg. Cross the left over the right. Take that high lunge on the left. Beautiful. Set the right hand down. Stack the feet. Find the side plank. This is where we ended. Now from here, you're going to place the top arm down and come as if you're going into a plank position, but you're actually going to continue. You're going to lift up the right hand and then turn towards up and over your right side. Keep the hips up high until you find this tabletop position. And then from there, you're going to keep going in the same direction. Pick up the right hand and then spin it around so that your feet are crossed. The right foot is over the left foot. My hands are down. I'm going to unwind my feet. So I'm going to take my back foot, my left foot, and scoop it through this hole. Place it right there, right in between. And then I'm going to shift my weight onto that foot, on the right foot. And I'm going to pivot my body so that it's looking to the other side of the mat as my back leg, the right leg spins all the way around. So I'm actually pivoting on that left foot. Good, rise up. Now this looks a lot harder than it is, more complicated than it is, I guess that's the word. But when you get the flow of it, you realize that the weight shifts and transitions naturally. So let's just do that one time again from the side plank, okay? So let's pretend you're in the side plank, either the assisted one or the full one, it doesn't matter. You're gonna go ahead and bring your, left arm down so that you're kind of in this up, kind of strange down dog position. You're gonna lift up the right hand as the belly comes up, finding that flat top. Keep going in the same direction. Lift up your right hand. Keep the feet where they are. Go ahead and uncross them, bringing that back foot through, but as far to your right as you possibly can. And then you're gonna pivot on this right foot, come up on the tippy toes there as you bring that back leg all the way around. Pivot, pivot, pivot. You can even bring that right leg up and make it fancy. And you finish in this wide-legged fold facing the other side of your mat. Whoo! Good, rise up. Let's try the left side so we understand which direction everything goes. So we just finished on the left side plank. So my left arm is down, right leg stacks over the left, right arm is up. So same kind of thing. I'm gonna do as if I'm going into my plank, but I'm gonna keep going. So my right hand rises up, my left foot readjusts. Actually, both feet readjust as I find that flat top. Pick up my right hand, keep going in the same direction. My feet will cross as they did before on the other side. That back foot, the right foot, in this case, is going to come through that hole. Place it as far to the left as you can. You really want to get it in there. And then you're going to rise up on that right foot as the left leg comes all the way around. You're going to pivot, 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 pivot. Yes! Are you there? And you're facing the other side of your mat in this wide forward fold. Rise up. Now, I want to show you a couple things. How you can help yourself if that's too hard, if holding your weight for that long is too hard. So let's talk about that, right? So let me do the right side here. So if that's so, I was here. Use your feet a little bit closer, and as you transition, you can come into a squat position. Now, what I would love is that if your booty is still up, so you're not fully seated, that would be great because you're still activating. Now, if you need to fully sit, that works too. You're at where you're at, right? From there, since you're low, it'll be a little bit easier to go ahead and twist. So there you can straighten your legs once you turn it around. And then, of course, this, if you need to come up a little bit higher, and then come down and bend your knees. If you can't reach the floor, you can do it that way. That's totally possible. So this is what that would look like in a flow. So our modified version, if you will. Boom, boom. Back. Right? And then I cross it through the hole. And then I help myself come around. And here I am. That would be our modified version. So actually the steps are exactly the same. You're just bending in places and assisting yourself where you need. If we're going to dance this through a little bit more, what happens is that the transitions kind of blend into themselves and the breath helps you flow. Yes, so that's our goal, is to blend it all into one movement. So go ahead and just try that little section. We'll come back and put what we've learned so far together. Practice makes perfect, so we're going to keep repeating this stuff, and you'll notice the more you do it, the more you'll find your little quirks and little things that you need to do to get through it and make it better for yourself, but also the body will get more used to it and it won't feel as difficult as it did at the very beginning. So let's just put together 1 and 2. Let's do the right and the left side nice and slow. So I like to start a little bit towards the right side of the front of my mat. And we're going to start with the right crossing over the left. But first, let's just take 3 cleansing breaths together. Focusing in, being present and unattached to what happens. We're going to just roll with the punches here. Good. Lift up the right foot, take the weight onto the left. Go ahead and cross the right over the left. Transition the weight. Play a little bit, and then step wide onto the left foot. Go ahead and take your lunge. Rise back up. Transition the weight back onto the right. Play a little bit, and then cross the left foot over the right. Step the right leg back. High lunge on the left side. You can even hit a little warrior 2 here if you like, or reverse warrior. Why not? Good. Coming back into that high lunge if you went into the warrior 2. Setting the right hand down, stacking the front foot to the back foot, finding that side plank. Good. Setting the arm down, bringing the right leg up and over. That same arm follows, finding that flat top bridge, and then continuing the movement to make the full round. The back leg, left leg scoops through the hole. Step onto the left, bring the right leg around, and pivot halfway to the back of the mat, finding that fold. Take a breath in that wide fold, and then slowly bend the knees slightly, roll up through the pubis, stacking the vertebrae 1 at a time until you're standing. Whew, beautiful. Let's do it a little bit more fluid on the left side. So I'm starting myself at the left side of the front of my mat. 3 breaths. Every breath is an opportunity to start again, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. Good. Left side, so we're going to go ahead and transition the weight on the right as the left leg crosses. Go ahead and step onto the left, step out onto the right, nice and wide. Here you can even bedazzle a little bit more, maybe with finding a twist or an opening. Pressing into the right foot as you rise up, transitioning the weight onto the left. Try not to readjust. Make it a little hard for yourself. Cross the right foot. Step it back with the left. Right leg at high lunge. Let's do our little warrior 2, reverse warrior situation here. And again, no big deal. Just kind of moving through these things. Setting down the left hand. Taking the front leg back to stack. Up arm comes down. Go ahead and change. Go ahead and flip that over. Keep going all the way around. You know this. Bringing that back leg through the hole, stepping it all the way to the opposite side as far as it goes. And then go ahead and pivot. If you do have a forearm handstand practice, here is a great place to go ahead and do that. And if you don't, go ahead and just play with that a little bit. Try to transition the weight into your forearms, bringing the booty up over the shoulders, which is what we want. If you want to, you can even just bend one leg and see if you can pop up. But the most important thing here is that you're pressing the forearms into the floor and then you're pushing out of the shoulder girdles. But honestly, simply just transitioning the weight back and forth is probably the best way. Good, and then rising all the way up. Wonderful. So go ahead and pause the video. See how smoothly you can start dancing through 1 and 2. We'll come back and learn section 3. Here we are, section 3. We just finished in this forward fold. You took your forearm handstand if that's what you wanted to do. And then you're going to roll all the way up, and we're going to do 1 or 2 or 3 quick releases. I like that sh sound for this. Sh. Yes, and it's just kind of that situation. It's a little cleansing in between. From there, you're going to stand up nice and tall. Right side, so we're going to turn towards our right. Just going to come up high in the toes and literally just pivot your feet until you sit down to the opposite side of the mat. You're facing the opposite side of your mat. Right leg is crossed over my left, so left is under, right is over. I'm getting this beautiful hip stretch. I can go ahead and stay right here and go Mukasana, cow face pose, which just basically is like one knee is stacked over the other and I'm finding a beautiful stretch in my right hip. Or I can take a little twist here, looking towards my right shoulder. Or you can do a version that you think of, whatever is best for you. From there, you're gonna unwind this top leg, this right leg, by sitting up nice and tall, squeezing through the pubis. Try not to crunch the spine. Lift up the front leg and carry it all the way back, as far as you can. And here we are in this pigeon stretch. I'm going to face this way so you can see it. It's a hip opener. Now I'm feeling on my opposite hip, on my left hip, like to keep my front foot flexed, protect my knee, and here you can play a little bit in and out. From there, you're going to tuck those back toes under. If you can't reach this position, it's okay to close the gauge a little bit here in the front in order to be able to tuck those back toes under. You're going to press your hands into the floor, and you're going to take this front leg and go into a plank, but that front leg is going to cross underneath, right? So then the right leg is going to pick up, the weight is going to go into your left, and you're going to bring that right leg forward so that it's placed on the outside of the right hand into this lunge. You can drop that back knee, find a beautiful stretch, find the sun. Yes, gorgeous. Now if you want to repeat this, you can. You just bring that back leg in, tuck it under once again. You'll find yourself in that twist. Don't worry which way you are on the mat because you're going to kind of fly all over the place. Now unwind it, find that pigeon, tuck those right toes under, let that left leg cut underneath the right, pick up the right leg and set it back on the outside of the hand. You can do this as many times as you want and you'll notice that it takes you in a circular rotation around your mat. From there, just for our purposes, since we're not going to go into section 4 yet, just to slip that back foot in, go ahead and find a squat and rise. Yeah, so it's a little carousel of a movement. If you want to do it once through, that's fine. If you want to do it 2 or 3 times, that's fine. But it actually gets really fun once you start finding the flow and you dance through it. Let's do the left side, shall we? So we just finished in that wide fold. Maybe your knees are a little bit bent. Good. You're going to roll up. Remember our discharge of energy. Swoosh. Standing up, left side, so I'm going to go ahead and pivot to the opposite side of my mat on my left, and I'm going to sit that booty down. You can use your hands if you need to, and go ahead and get comfortable here. Finding a twist maybe, looking towards the left shoulder, so turning towards my left side. I'm going to unwrap that top leg, carry it all the way back, finding the right pigeon, so the right leg is front, left leg is back, placing my hands in front of me, cutting the front leg underneath the back leg, lifting up the right leg. Maybe you even want to find a little, what is this called? Kick up. And then setting that top leg down on the outside of my left hand. If I want to repeat, I'm going to cut that back leg under. Go ahead and shift your body to find that seated twist. Unwrap the left leg into the right-legged pigeon. Again, cut the front leg underneath the back leg. Find a little almost 3-legged down dog is what it looks like. And then go ahead and place that foot on the outside with the left hand. Bringing that foot in. This will not be in the combo, but for now, finding that squat. And rising all the way up. Yes, I want to kind of show you how this will move once it dances because it's really, really fun. And also observe the breath. And if you'd like, you can even add a little chaturanga, a little push-up right here. If you want to up the game a little bit. So it gets really fun. You want to try to find that circular play, that float, and the breathiness. Go ahead and pause. Try section 3. We'll come back and put 1, 2, and 3 together. All right, you guys, let's put 1, 2, and 3 together, nice and slow on the right side. You know how we do this, 3 cleansing breaths. Here we go. Go ahead and release the throat chakra and the pubis chakra. They are connected. They hold a lot of energy in the torso. So you want to be sure to release that with sound. Good. You know the deal, cross right over the left, step out. Take that deep side lunge. Press into it. Transfer the weight. Play a little bit. Cross, step back into the high lunge on the left side. Let's take our warrior 2, reverse it. Play a little bit, find your spacing, and then settle down. Stack the feet, left arm up. Good. Do your little wheel until you're up in that tabletop. Maybe even make it a bridge, a full bridge if you're there, if you're more advanced. Good. Cross the back leg through the hole. Spin that baby around. Take your forearm handstand if you want, or just go ahead and take a moment of breath. When you're ready, roll up. Let's take our releasing swoosh. All right side, so we're going to go ahead and pivot to the back of the mat. Keep the feet where they are and sit down. Take your twist. Unwrap the right leg until you find your left-legged pigeon. Cut that front leg into the back. Keep your knee down if you have to, if you can't do a full plank. And then go ahead and step that back leg, the right leg forward. Let's just do one more. So cut it under. Find the left pigeon. If you need to make this a little bit simpler, just keep the knees down. Step it forward. Bring the left leg forward into that squat. And rise up. Beautiful. Let's go right into the left side. See if we can move a little smoother through this. So the idea is to really play with root to rise. When you're close to the floor, it makes it very difficult, especially if you don't yet have a lot of core strength. So what you need to always remember is to push into the floor and simultaneously push away from it. Both things are happening at the same time, so you're finding this force that goes against each other. That's what you're looking for in the body. 3 breaths. Letting go. Any little movements that need to come, go ahead. If you like to move more free, the movement classes are for you. Check those out. All right. So crossing the left over the right, transferring the weight, stepping onto the right, finding that deep lunge, maybe bedazzling it a bit. Go ahead and transition. You can use your hands. Remember, you can always use support. Crossing, finding that high lunge on the right. Do your doodad, whatever that is. Maybe it's even a humble warrior here. Good. Stacking. So I just want to show you always how you can play, and you can incorporate whatever postures or movements you want. Go ahead and flip it. Here's how you would find the bridge. Good. And then you keep going. Yep, uncross it. Go ahead and pivot it all the way around. Maybe you even need to take a couple steps. That's fine too. There's no rule that says that you can't. Good. Maybe a forearm, maybe even a press-up handstand if you're super advanced. Let's swoosh it away, let it go. Here we go towards our left since we're on our left side. Pivoting. Right leg under, left leg over, finding a twist. Good. Unwrap that baby into the right-legged pigeon. Maybe take your push-up. Good. Even maybe a down dog here before you lift that left leg up and step it on the outside of the left hand. So there's a lot of ways to keep this movement fresh. Left leg steps forward. And then walk that right leg in. Take your squat. Beautiful, you guys. Rise up. Go ahead and pause, get that in your bodies, and we'll learn section 4. All right, you're doing great. This is our final little interweaving section. So right side where we finished, remember that we spun to our right, we took our twist, we let that left-legged pigeon follow. We took that front leg and cut it underneath the back leg and then brought the right leg on the outside of the right hand. So we actually finished here. We're not going to go into the squat from here. So from here, you're going to spin towards the inside of you. This is the outside of you. Outside is towards the front leg. We want to go away from the front leg. So away, this way, okay, towards your left. So you're going to go ahead and tuck those back toes under and spin towards your left. So towards your left. There we go. So you actually will finish with this right leg crossed over the bottom leg. Now, this is where you have to pay big attention. It's going to feel like you're stuck. But what you're going to do is take this right leg and interweave it underneath the long leg. Underneath. Until you're in a plank. From there, you're going to take an up dog or maybe even a chaturanga, which just means a push-up. You can always put your knees down for that. And then find a down dog. To finish it, you're going to jump forward, crossing the right over the left, halfway, and then the left over, or actually then unwind until you're wide. And then you're going to let your arms circle forward as you rise up. And then just jump together. Let's try that on the left side. Let's actually do it from twisting into the seated twist, okay? So we turn towards our left and we look to the back of the mat. You know this. This top leg comes away, right? You find that pigeon, right-legged pigeon. Front leg crosses under, left leg comes out and steps on the outside of the left hand. So this is where we ended off. Now remember, you're going away on the outside of you. So I'm going to twist so that my right leg is over my left. This leg, remember, is going to scoop under as I keep going in that same direction towards my left. Scoop under. So I find the plank. Take my vinyasa. Left is going to cut over the right, halfway. And then you can take a little handstand here too if you have a handstand practice. And roll up. It's awesome because it just keeps kind of rolling around. Now, if you're totally confused and you don't know which way to go, just roll around, make it yours. Who cares, you know? We're not like saving the world here. We're just having fun exploring movement. So, let's see how this would move a little bit smoother, right? So we know on the right side, we finished the right leg forward on the outside of the right hand. So a little smoother would look like this. Yeah, exactly. Now, if you have a hard time picking up your body at this point, go ahead and do it with your booty on the floor. So this would look as such. I would just keep my booty on the floor. Maybe I even come on my forearms or my belly first. And then from there, I can find this down dog. And maybe I just walk to the front, let my arms circle forward as I rise up. So that's section 4. Go ahead and play with it. Get it in your body your way. We'll come back and put it all together. Let's put this whole interweaving Yogance together and see what we've created. Puzzle pieces together, seeing how it flows. So 3 breaths. Let's start the right side. Trust that your body knows this and flow through it with compassion and patience. Whatever happens, happens. It's okay. We're just playing. So inhale. 2 more cleansing breaths. Beautiful. Go ahead and cross right. Step out with the left. Rise up. Cross left. Step out with the right. High lunge on the left side. Play a bit. Side plank. Go ahead and turn this around into your flat top bridge. Keep it going. Unwind. And spin it to the back of the mat. Do your version of whatever you'd like to do here. and then rise up and swoosh. Pivot to the back of the mat as you twist, experiencing the seated twist, unwinding the top leg, pigeon. Go ahead and step the right leg forward on the outside of the hand. Good, we're going to continue spinning onto my left booty, unwinding the top leg underneath the bottom, finding my vinyasa. Big exhale. Good. Jumping halfway, crossing the right over left, undoing myself. Big circle forward with the arms and rising up. Go ahead and walk around your space. Resetting yourself up for the left side. 3 breaths right there. You're doing amazing. Stay focused. Let it be what it wants to be. Letting go of control. Here we go, left side, crossing the left. Stepping out on the right. Popping back up. Crossing the right. Right leg at high lunge. Finding your flow. When you're ready, go ahead and stack your feet. Right arm down. Spin this all the way around. Through the bridge. Pivoting to the back. Take a moment, maybe even clasping your hands, letting the arms fall behind you. Good. Rolling up, releasing, swoosh. Pivoting towards the left. Unwinding. Right pigeon. Finding your version. There's tons of ways you can do this, by the way. Low lunge. Sitting onto the right booty. Unwrapping the top leg through and under. And then eventually, however you get there, we all find ourselves in a down dog. Crossing the left over the right. Maybe when walking forwards. Letting the arms travel forward. Big circle as you rise up. And then letting all that just settle for a second. There she is. The interweaving Yogance. Super interesting stuff. If you found this difficult, then you just need to practice more. And if you found it pretty easy, incorporate some of your own little twists and spins and interweaves within mine. That'll make it really, really intricate and interesting. And send me the video. You guys, actually, I'd love to see what you're doing. So if you'd like to share your practice with me and everyone else, because it is really inspiring, go ahead and film your final Yogance, which I'm going to show you mine right after this, and post it on Instagram, tag @Kuchira. I'd love to see it. Thank you so much for supporting the movement. Thank you for investing in yourself, because you make the whole world better when you do that. And like I promised, I'm going to show you my version of the interweaving Yogance.